Chapter 8. It came to pass, when Yahusha came down from the mountain, that a great crowd came after him. Then behold, a leper came and worshipped him, saying, Adonai, are you able to heal me? Yahusha stretched forth his hand and touched him, saying, I wish that you be cleansed. And in that hour the leper was cleansed from his leprosy. Then Yahusha said to him, Be careful, lest you tell any man, but go to the priest, to offer your gifts as Moses commanded in your law. It came to pass when he entered into Capernaum Hamartha, that a captain of hundreds came to him and implored him, saying, Adonai, my son lies in my house with the sickness of contraction, that is, paralytico, and he is weak with the illness. Yahusha said to him, I will go and heal him. The captain of hundreds answered and said to him, Adonai, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof. Only make the decision that he might be healed. I am a sinful man, and I have authority under the Pharisees, and I have horses and riders, and I say to one of them, Go, and he goes. Come, and he comes. And to my servants, Do this, and they do it. Yahusha heard and was amazed, and said to those who were following him, Truly, I say to you, I have not found a great faith in Israel like this. I say to you that many will come from the east and from the west, and will rest with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be cast into the darkness of Gehenna. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then Yahusha said to the captain of hundreds, Go, as you have believed, it will be done to you. So the lad was healed at that time. At that time, Yahusha went into the house of Peter, and behold, his mother-in-law was lying sick with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. Then she arose and ministered to him. At the time of the evening, they brought to him those seized by demons, and he healed them by his word alone, and he healed every sickness, to complete what was said by Isaiah the prophet, of blessed memory. Surely our sickness he bore, and our pains he suffered. It came to pass after this, Yahusha saw many crowds around him, and he commanded to go across the sea. Then a sage came to him and said to him, Master, I will follow you wherever you go. Yahusha answered him, The foxes have holes, and the birds have nests, but the Son of Man, the Son of the Virgin, has no place to enter his head. One of his disciples said to him, Allow me to go and bury my father. Yahusha said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. It came to pass when Yahusha entered a boat, his disciples followed him. A great storm came on the sea, and the waves were coming on excessively, and the boat was thought to be breaking up. His disciples came to him and begged him, saying, O our master, save us, lest we perish. He said to them, Why do you look at one another, O you little of faith? He arose and commanded the sea and the winds, that they should be quiet, and immediately they became quiet. When the men who were there saw, they marveled and said, Who is this that the winds and the sea do his will? It came to pass, when he crossed over the sea, and passed by the region beyond the sea, in the realm of the Gadiri, that is, Genetraros, there met him 2 demon-possessed men coming out of the tombs, raging until no man could pass by that way. They cried out to him, saying, What is between you and us, Yahusha, son of Elohim? Have you come before the time to grieve us and to destroy us? Yahusha said to them, Come out from there, evil host. There near them were herds of many swine feeding. So the demons entreated him, Since we have to go out from here, grant us authority to go into these swine. He said to them, Go. The demons went out from the men and entered the swine. And all the herd went in sudden haste, slipped off into the sea, and died in the water. Those who were feeding them feared, fled, and told everything in the city. So the whole city was frightened. They went out to meet Yahusha. They saw them and entreated him not to pass over into their border. Chapter 9. Then Yahusha entered a boat. They set sail and returned to his city. They brought to him one who was sick with contractions, that is, paralytico, lying upon his bed. Yahusha saw their faith and said to the sick man, Have courage, my son. It is by the faith of Elohim that your sins have been forgiven." Some of the sages were saying in their heart, "This one blasphemes." Yahusha saw their thoughts and said to them, "Why do you think evil in your heart? Which is easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or 'Rise, walk'? But to inform you that the Son of Man is able to forgive sins on earth." Then he said to the sick man, "Arise and take your bed and walk." He arose and went to his house. The crowd saw, feared exceedingly, and praised Elohim, who had given power to men to do such things. It came to pass, when Yahusha passed on from there, he saw a man sitting at the table of exchange. Matthew was his name, that is, Matteo. And he said to him, "Follow me." So he arose and followed him. He brought him to his house to eat. It came to pass while he was eating, that behold, many violent and evil men were at the table, and behold, they were dining with Yahusha and his disciples. The Pharisees saw this, and said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher sit and eat with violent and evil men?" Yahusha heard this and said, "The healthy have no need for healing, but the sick. Go and learn that which is written, 'I desire kindness and not sacrifice.' I have not come to restore the righteous, but the wicked." Then the disciples of John came to him and said to him, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast?" Yahusha answered them and said, "The friends of the bridegroom cannot weep and fast while he is with them. The days will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them. Then they will fast. No man wastes a piece of new garment on an old garment, because the force of the piece stretches the worn-out garment, and it tears more. Nor do they put new wine into old vessels, lest the vessels break, and the wine spills out, and the vessels perish. But new wine is for new vessels, and both of them are preserved." It came to pass, when he had spoken to them, a captain approached and bowed down to him, saying, "Master, my daughter just died. Please come and place your hand upon her and restore her to life." Yahusha arose and went, he and his disciples with him. Behold, a woman with a flow of blood for 12 years came behind him and touched the fringe of his garments. She was saying in her heart, "If only I touch his garment, I will immediately be healed." He turned and said to her, "Courage, my daughter, through Elohim, blessed be he. Your healing is because of your faith." In that very hour, she was healed. It came to pass, when he entered the house of the captain, he saw many people weeping. He said to them, "Go outside, all of you, and stop weeping, because the girl is asleep and not dead." But in their eyes, he was one who jests. They were saying, "Have we not seen that she is dead?" When he put them outside, Yahusha went to her, touched her hand, and the girl arose. This report went out in all the land. Yahusha passed on from there, and behold, 2 blind men were running after him and crying out to him, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." He came to the house, and the blind men drew near to him. He said, "Your faith will heal you." The eyes of the 2 men were immediately opened, and they saw. He commanded them, saying, "Be careful, lest the matter be made known." As for them, they went out and made him known in all the land. Yahusha went out from there, and they brought before him a dumb man who was demon-possessed. He cast out the demon so that the dumb man spoke. The crowds were amazed and said, "We have not seen it like this in Israel." The Pharisees said, "Truly, in the name of demons, he casts out demons." He went around all the cities and towns, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the good tidings and healing every illness and every sickness. Yahusha saw the crowds and had pity on them, because they were weary and lying around like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The standing grain is much, but the reapers are few. Entreat now the Adonai of the standing grain, that he send many reapers to harvest his grain." Chapter 10. Then Yahusha called his 12 disciples and gave them power over every unclean spirit, to cast them out from man, and to heal every sickness and every plague. These are the names of the 12 apostles, called Apostolos: Simon, called Petros, and Andrea his brother, Philippos, Bartolomeos, and James, called Jimmy, and John his brother, son of Zebedee, Thomas and Matthew, that is, Matteo, who by reputation was a lender of money for interest, James a Luphi and Terios, Simon the Canaanite, that is, Simon Cananeos, and Judah Iscariota, who after this betrayed him. These 12 Yahusha sent. He commanded them, saying, "To the lands of the Gentiles do not go, and into the cities of the Samaritans do not enter. Go to the sheep who have strayed from the house of Israel. Preach to them that the kingdom of heaven will be fulfilled. Heal the sick, restore life to the dead, cleanse the lepers, and cast out demons from men. Do not take wages. Freely you received, freely you shall give. Do not heap up silver and gold, nor have wealth in your purse, nor changes of clothes, nor shoes, nor a staff in your hand. The workman is worthy to receive enough for his food. In every city and in every tower that you enter, ask, who is the good man among them, and there remain until you go out. When you enter into the house, give to them a shalom, saying, Shalom to this house, shalom to all who dwell in it. If that house should be worthy, your shalom will come upon it. But if it is not worthy, your shalom will return to you. When one does not receive you or listen to you, you shall go out from that house and shake off your feet from the dust. Truly I say unto you, it will be better for Sodom and Gomorrah in that day than for that city. Behold, I send you like sheep in the midst of wolves. Be as crafty as serpents and humble as doves. Beware of men. They will not deliver you up in their congregations and houses of assembly, but to governors and kings. You will be able to bear witness on my behalf to them and to the Gentiles. When they seize you, do not consider what you will say, because in the hour that you are in need, an answer will come to you. It will not be you who speak, but the Ruach HaKodesh of my Father will speak through you. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and a father his son. The sons will rise up against their fathers and lead them unto death. You will become a derision and a fright to all the nations because of my name. Whoever endures, however, until the time of the end will be saved." Again, Yahusha said to his disciples, "When they pursue you in this city, flee to another. Truly I say to you, you will not have completed for yourselves the city of Israel before the Son of Man comes. No disciple is greater than his teacher, nor is the servant greater than his master. It is sufficient for the disciples to be like his teacher, and for the servant to be like his master. If they call the master of the house Beelzebub, so much the more the sons of the house. Do not fear them, because there is nothing which will not be seen, nor hidden which will not be made known. That which I say to you in darkness, say it in the light. That which you hear by the ear, tell it in the gate. Do not fear those who kill bodies, who have no power to kill souls, but fear the one who has power to destroy the soul and the body in Gehenna. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a small coin, and not one of them will fall to the earth except by the will of your Father who is in heaven? Are not all the hairs of your head numbered? Do not fear, because you are better than the sparrows. He who praises me before man, I will praise before my Father who is in heaven." In that hour, Yahusha said to his disciples, "Do not think I have come to put peace on the earth, but a sword. I have come to separate mankind, the son from his father, and the daughter from her mother. The enemy is to be loved ones. He who loves his father and his mother more than me, I am not suitable for him. He who loves his life will lose it. He who loses it for my sake will find it. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives the one who sent me. He who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet will receive the reward of the prophet. He who receives a righteous one in the name of a righteous one will receive the reward of the righteous one. He who gives a vessel of cold water to one of my little disciples in the name of my disciple, truly I say to you that he will not lose his reward." Chapter 11. It came to pass, when Yahusha had finished commanding his 12 disciples, that he passed on from there and commanded them to teach and reprove in their own cities. John, when he was in captivity, heard of the works of Yahusha and sent 2 of his disciples, saying to him, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect another?" Yahusha answered them, Go and tell John that which you have seen and that which you have heard. The blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are revived, and the poor are acquitted. Blessed is he who is not perplexed in me. It came to pass, as they were going, that Yahusha began to speak to the crowds about John. You went out into the wilderness to see what? A reed cast about by the wind? Or what did you go out to see? Do you think that John was a man clothed in noble garments? Behold, those who wear noble garments are in kings' houses. If so, what did you go out to see? A prophet? Truly, I say to you, that this one is greater than a prophet. This is he about whom it is written, Behold, I am sending my messenger, and he will make the way clear before me. Again, Yahusha said to his disciples, Truly, I say to you, among all those born of women, none has arisen greater than John the Baptizer. From his days until now, the kingdom of heaven has been oppressed, and senseless persons have been rending it. For all the prophets in the law spoke concerning John. If you wish to receive it, he is Elijah who is going to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Again, Yahusha said, I will liken this generation to lads who sit in the marketplace, calling to one another, saying, We sang to you, and you did not dance. We wailed to you, and you did not weep. Because John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say concerning him, He is possessed by demons. But the Son of Man came eating and drinking, and one says concerning him, He is a glutton, a drunkard, and a friend to violent men and sinners. So fools judge the wise. Then Yahusha began to curse the cities in which his signs were done, for they did not turn to repentance. Woe to you, Chorazin, and woe to you, Bethsaida! For if in Tyre and Sodom, or Sodoma, the signs had been done which were done in you, they would have turned in repentance at that time in sackcloth and ashes. Truly, I say to you, it shall be easier for Tyre and Sodom than for you. You, Capernaum, will you ascend to heaven? From there you will be brought down. Because if in Sodom the signs which were done in you had been done, perhaps she would have remained. Unto Sheol you will be brought down. Truly, I say to you, that it shall be easier for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for you. At that time Yahusha raised himself up and said, Be praised, my Father, creator of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these words from the wise and prudent, and have revealed them to the humble. Truly, this is because it was upright before you, my Father. All has been given to me from my Father. There is none who knows the Son, but the Father alone. And the Father knows no one, but the Son, and to whomever the Son wishes to reveal him. Come unto me, all you who are weary, and who are enduring labor, and I will help you to bear your yoke. Take my yoke as your yoke, and learn of me, that I am humble and good and pure of heart, and you shall find rest for your souls, because my yoke is soft and my burden is light. Chapter 12. At that time, Yahusha passed through the standing grain on the Sabbath day, and his disciples, being hungry, began to pluck the ears and to crush them between their hands and to eat them. The Pharisees saw it and said to him, Behold, your disciples are doing that which is not proper to do on the Sabbath day. Yahusha answered them, Have you not read what David did when he was hungry, and his men in the house of Elohim when they ate from the bread of the presence, that is, pain sagra, which is not to be eaten except by the priest alone? Also in the Torah, have you not read that the priests in the temple sometimes profane the Sabbaths and are without sin? Truly, I say to you that the temple is greater than this. If you had known what this is, I desire kindness and not sacrifice, you would not have convicted the innocent. For the Son of Man is Adonai of the Sabbath. It came to pass at the end of the days that Yahusha passed on from there and entered into their synagogues. A man was there with a withered hand. So they asked him, saying, Is it permissible to heal him on the Sabbath? He said to them, Who among you has a sheep that falls into a pit on the Sabbath day and does not raise it up? So much the more is man better than that. Therefore, it is permissible and necessary for man to do better on the Sabbath. Then he said to the man, Stretch out your hand. he stretched out his hand, and it returned as the other. Then the Pharisees took counsel and plotted to put him to death. It came to pass after this that Yahusha knew it, so he turned aside from there. Many sick followed him, and he healed all of them. He commanded them, saying, not to reveal him, in order to establish what was spoken by Isaiah. Behold my servant, whom I have elected, my chosen one, with whom my soul is pleased. I will put my ruach upon him, and he will declare justice to the nations. He will not fear, nor will he run, nor shall one hear his voice in the street. A crushed reed he will not break, and a dim wick he will not quench, until he establishes justice forever. And in his name the Gentiles hope. Then there was brought to him a blind and dumb man who was demon-possessed. He healed him. The crowd saw it, and marveled, and said, is this not the son of David? The Pharisees were quick to hear this, and said, this one does not cast out demons except by Beelzebub, the Lord of demons. Yahusha knew their thoughts, and said to them in a parable, every kingdom among you divided shall be made desolate, and so every city or house upon which division shall fall shall not stand. If Satan cast out another Satan, there will be division among them. How will his kingdom stand? If I cast out demons by Beelzebub, why do your sons not cast them out? Therefore, they will be your judges. But if I cast out demons by the Ruach of Elohim, truly the end of his kingdom has come. How shall a man be able to enter the house of the strong man to take his goods unless he bind him first? Then he shall plunder his house. Whoever is not with me is against me. Whoever does not join himself to me denies me. Therefore I say to you, that every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven the sons of men, but blasphemy of the Ruach shall not be forgiven. Everyone who says a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But everyone who says a word against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven him, either in this world or the world to come. Make the tree good according to good fruit, or the tree bad according to bad fruit. Because the truth is, from the fruit the tree will be known. Family of vipers, how can you speak good things when you are evil? Surely the mouth awakens, the heart speaks. A good man from the treasure of a good heart brings forth good. An evil man from the treasure of an evil heart brings forth evil. I say to you that for all the words which a man shall speak, he will be obliged to give an account on the day of judgment. According to your words, you will be judged, and according to your deeds, you will be convicted. At that time, some of the Pharisees and sages came to Yahusha, saying, we wish to see a sign from heaven by you. He said to them, an evil and wicked generation seeks a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of Jonah. For as he was in the bowels of the fish 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be in the belly of the earth, buried for 3 days and 3 nights. The men of Nineveh will rise up in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they turned in repentance at the words of Jonah, and I am greater than Jonah. The queen of Sheba will rise up in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, I am greater than Solomon. When the unclean spirit goes out from the man, he goes through the waterless places seeking rest, but does not find it. Then he says, I will return to my house from which I came out. And he goes and finds it empty, safe, and ready. Then he takes 7 spirits more evil than himself, and they go with him and dwell there. And the later state of the man is worse than his first. Thus it will be to this evil generation. While he was speaking to all the crowds, behold, his mother and his brothers were standing outside, seeking him to speak with him. A man said to him, behold, your mother and your brothers are seeking to see you. He answered the one who spoke to him, who are my brothers, and who is my mother? He stretched out his hands to his disciples and said, these are my mothers and brothers. Everyone who does the will of my Father who is in heaven is my brothers, my sisters, and my mother. Chapter 13. On that day, Yahusha went out of the house and sat on the shore of the sea. Crowds joined themselves to him until he needed to enter a boat. The whole crowd was standing on the shore. He spoke to them many things in parables and said to them, a man went forth from his house in the morning to sow his seed. In his sowing, some of it fell on the road, and the birds ate it. Some of it fell among rocks, where there was no density of soil, and when it sprang up, it withered, because there was not much soil there. When the sun above it became warm, it was burned and dried up because it had no roots. Some of it fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew and darkened it. Some of it fell on the good ground and made fruit and produce. The first 100, the second 60, and the third 30. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Then his disciples drew near to him, and his disciples said to him, "Why do you speak in parables?" He said, "To you it has been given to know the kingdom of heaven, but not to them. Whoever has, it will be given to him again. But whoever has nothing, that which he thinks he has will be taken from him. For this reason I speak in parables, because they see but do not see, hear but do not hear. In order to fulfill what was said through Isaiah the prophet, go and say to this people, hear but do not comprehend, see but do not understand. Make the heart of the people fat and make their ears heavy and blind their eyes, lest they should see with their eyes. Blessed are your eyes that see and your ears that hear. Truly I say to you that many prophets and righteous men desired to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. But hear you the parable of the sower. The sower is the Son of Man, and the seed which fell on the road is every one who hears the kingdom of heaven and does not understand it. Satan comes and snatches away from his heart everything which was sown in it. This is the seed which fell on the road. That which fell upon the rocks is the one who hears the word of Elohim and receives it immediately with joy. But he is without root and is in confusion. And when a little trouble and distress comes to them, Satan causes them to forget from their heart. That which fell among the thorns, this is the one who hears the word, and in his desire to gather wealth, Satan causes him to forget the word of Elohim, and he makes no fruit. That which fell into the good earth is the one who hears the word and understands it and makes fruit, that is, from good works. He brings forth the first 100, from the second 60, and from the third 30. As for the 100, this is the one purified of heart and sanctified of body. As for the 60, this is the one separated from women. As for the 30, this is the one sanctified in matrimony, in body and in heart. He set before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sows good seed in his field. It came to pass when the men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares over the wheat, and he went away. It came to pass when the herb grew to make fruit, he saw the tares. The servants of the master of the field drew near to him and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed? Then whence came the tares? He said to them, My enemy did this. His servants said to him, We will uproot the tares. He said to them, No, lest you uproot the wheat, but let them remain together and grow up until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest I will say to the reapers, Gather the tares first, and bind them into individual bundles for burning, and the wheat put into the granary. He set before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard, which a man takes and sows in the field. It is smaller than all garden herbs, but when it grows up, it is greater than all herbs, and is made into a great tree until the birds of heaven withdraw into its branches. He spoke to them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman puts into 3 measures of flour, and it leavens all of it. All of these parables Yahushua spoke to the crowds, and without a parable he did not speak to them, to fulfill what was said according to the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter riddles from ancient times. Then Yahushua was parted from the crowds and went into the house. His disciples came to him and asked him to explain for them the parables of the tares. He answered them and said to them, The one who sows good seed is man. The field is the world. The good fruit is the righteous, and the tares are the evil. The enemy who sowed it is Satan. The standing grain at the end is the world to come, and the reapers are the angels. As the reapers gather the tares to burn, so will it be at the end of the days. The Son of Man will send his angels to uproot from his kingdom all evil and all who do iniquity. They will cast them into the pyre of fire. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Again, Yahushua said to his disciples, The kingdom of heaven is like a man who finds a treasure which had been hidden, and in gladness over the value he sells all which he has and buys the field for himself. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a certain merchant seeking precious stones. When he finds a good one, he sells all which he has and buys it. The kingdom of heaven is like a net in the midst of the sea, in which are gathered all kinds of fish. When it is full, they draw it out, and the fishermen go forth and choose the good for their vessels, and the bad they cast away. Thus it will be at the end of days. The angels will go forth and separate the evil from the midst of the righteous. Then they shall cast them into the pyre of fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. He said to them, "Have you understood this?" They said, "Yes." Every wise man in the kingdom of heaven, therefore, is like a certain father of children who brings forth from his treasure things new and old. It came to pass after this, when Yahusha finished these words, he passed on from there. He came into his own country and was teaching the people in the synagogues. The Pharisees were amazed and said in their heart, "Whence came to this one the wisdom and power to do these deeds? Is this not the son of the smith and Mary? Do you not know all these? His mother Mary, his 3 brothers, Joseph, Simon, and Judah, and his sisters. Do you not know all these who are with us? Whence came to this one all these things?" So they were confused about him. Yahusha answered them, "A prophet is not without honor, except in his own land, city, and house." Then he did not wish to do there any signs because of their little faith.